Hey, my treasures, it's time for the stars to align with Star Align Priest. The idea behind this deck is we're going to be using the stars align in order to get a bunch of 7-cost minions, which seems to be the best pool for this card to easily abuse. We also are going to be using things like Ignis in order to have a backup win condition for if we get very unlucky with the minions that we randomly generate. I will say this deck, while it is incredibly fun, is incredibly inconsistent just because it relies heavily on what cards you do randomly generate. But it is a lot of fun, which is why I wanted to showcase it anyways. Now, for the Mulligan guide of the deck, you of course are going to be looking for Stars Align. Other cards to look out for are things like Creation Protocol to fill up your hand with 4-cost minions, or even additional copies of Ignis in order to fill your hand with a bunch of weapons. Generally speaking, you're going to be looking for early game removal tools such as Holy Nova and early game minions such as Mind Eater outside of those two key cards. Now, with that all being said, let's look at some games. Okay, time for a game against Warlock. Let's see what they have in store for us. Stars Align in the opener actually isn't that bad. Sister is actually a card that I almost decided to cut out of the deck. I ended up keeping it in just because it could, in theory, give us like infinite removal. Now, getting Ignis this early with Stars Align in the hand makes it a little bit more difficult to slam them both down at the same time. There is a reason why Fizzle is in the deck, and that honestly is the main reason. Okay, so Cathedral isn't bad for draw later. The one shard of the Naru was added into the list just because the only real AoE that we have access to is Holy Nova and one Prison Breaker. The reason why I'm only using one Prison Breaker instead of two is, well, I wanted additional minions. Getting Creation Protocol is actually pretty good just because we can forge the Creation Protocol, coin it out, get 2 random minions. Mind Eater actually isn't that bad. I think we're going to probably end up delaying the Stars Align for a little bit longer. I'm not really too worried currently about what they're doing just because they slammed down only a 1-3. And then they gave us a little bit of armor. Probably going to go for ETC. I like going for the 2 or the 4-cost minions the most just because of the fact that 7-cost minions feel so good when you high roll. There are so many really good 7-cost minions to high roll on. 8-cost minions, I think there are some few good high rolls, but there are definitely a lot that are just dead most of the time. Odin, I think, is the biggest high roll from the 8 pool, and you'll see later in this video what you can do with Odin. Okay, so they're going to have 2 7/7s. One can attack, one cannot. Okay, so we do... I don't like doing it like this, but I needed to get their minions off board because the next turn we can slam down the Terror. Terror will get rid of at least 2 of their minions. Okay. So we put down the Terror, and we... let's not. Never mind. I was thinking we put down the Terror, and then we clear out at least 1 minion, but we're not low enough where I don't... Wiping out the board makes sense on paper, but on the same time, letting them increase the amount of minions they have on board and then wiping it out later is probably safer. We're also trying to get the 4-drop... Well, I guess they're both 4-drop Nagas. Never mind. This won't clear out the 7/5s, but it'll clear out everything else. Or it won't clear out anything. Okay, we need one really cheap spell, I think, still. Okay, out of all the minions they could have... I mean, actually, thank you. Thank you for the spell. Oh, actually, we do need 2 spells for Death Scale. I know that was a little bit of a waste of a shard, but that does clear out the board, and we are not going to take any face damage, right? Identity Theft, Gigafin. If we had actually some type of removal for Dirty Rat, then that might have been a better choice, but Gigafin for now is just better. Thanks for the additional Gigafin. Let's see whose fin is more Giga, I guess. Nom 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 nom. Now here is where they don't know we have another one in hand. All right, Dirty Rat does nothing just because we have a full board. I'm going to do something a little bit sus next turn, which is attack with the 3/3 into the 7/7. Whenever we draw into Stars Align, that'll make sense, but for now, it definitely does not make that much sense. Then we can slam down a Cathedral, draw a card. Thrive in the Shadows is actually pretty good. Trying to get rid of that minion so I don't have to deal with it. And then let's buff up our good old friend Hedra. It's been a while since I've even seen Hedra. Then go face, trade in, heal a little bit just to be safe. Okay, now I'm going to make some mistakes here. I should try to get rid of Gigafin on the board, but I think what I'll end up probably doing is because I'm curious of how this interaction is going to work. Because I'm hoping it revives our minions. But it doesn't look like it does. Instead, it's just going to keep giving them additional bodies, which is actually not that good for us. And they're going to be able to get... Gigafin has quite a few little bodies there instead of just one. Let's trade that in. Oh, that is a fun card. I don't know if it's a good card, but it's a fun card. Then we can force them all to attack. I almost thought about like maybe buffing up one of their Gigafin bodies just to make sure nothing survived. And honestly, that probably would have been the best solution. But I mean, we still have a taunt wall up. Okay, that was a little bit of a mistake on their behalf. Well, actually, no. There's no rationalizing that. I really don't want to slam down the other Yogg. Let's grab... Oh, that actually is a pretty good card. Gets rid of majority. We don't have enough mana for anything else. We might actually just have to slam down the Yogg. Oh, actually, no. We can slam down the 4-drop. And then slam down the 1-drop. Then buff up the 4-drop to something big. Stars Align number 2. Stars Align with Yogg in hand is actually not something I really want to do, but we could in theory because it will give us a 7-drop. No, it won't. It will give us a 6-drop. All right, what do they burn? Nothing. Nothing. I mean, now at least they think we don't have any more Yogg's. Prison Breaker was something that I would have loved to have. Okay, Drakon is becoming our Drakon. Right. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Please, please, please. This way, if they have a Yogg of their own, they can't steal it from us. And then I'm going to use Watcher. Heal up for a little bit more. Going to take an additional Yogg. Just because Yogg seems to be the best bet here. Okay. I mean, we might Almond Thule next turn, weirdly enough. Alright, that's what we had at the bottom of the deck. I think Almond Thule and then Fitzel. This will delay our fatigue damage by a turn. Then slam down Vision. Or of Heroes, I should say. Ooh. Ooh, that actually is a really good random generation. I'll take that in a heartbeat. Well, there goes our one card. All right, I think we're smart enough. We got lethal because that'll heal us 14. Yeah, there we go. What a sunken betrayal this has been. We'll end up seeing how that works out in the long run for us. Let's keep ETC. I also realized with this deck, the other reason why like Prison Breaker makes a lot of sense for this deck is when it comes to where you want to reroll your minions or like what costs. 4 costs into 7 costs is probably like the best pool, right? The idea is you can get tests, you can get a few other like really nice 7-drop minions, which is really good in that pool. Technically, an 8-cost pool wouldn't be bad just because we do have Ignis in the team, so in theory we could get things like Odin. But I really do like the pool that we're already in. I'm gonna grab the Titan, and then let's grab ETC. Dirty Rat might have been better in the long run, now that I'm thinking about it. Just because of the fact that if they have Odin in hand, we can slam it down. The problem doing that, though, is we don't really have an answer to Odin once he's on the board. We don't have early game removal. I'm going to grab Rust Viper because that we probably have a high likelihood of running into a weapon since we already did generate a weapon off of them. And then we can grab Whirlpool with the other ETC. Or... no, we're burning a card if we do that. Never mind. Steam Cleaner, like, in theory could come up. The problem I've had with Steam Cleaner so far is the sole fact that I haven't ran into many, like, DKs. And they're gonna wham into this, right? They were trying to get the Viper out of our hand, but doesn't work so well for them now, does it? Okay. Let's see what we can get. Anything cool? That actually could be useful for later. Now it's not that useful, but later it could be. Get rid of this, get rid of that. There's a lot of things I want to do today, but given how behind I feel like I'm on content, I think like I was originally planning on doing some variety, and then turns out well, A, we had this event go on or be announced, and B, the game that I had planned for variety crashes my computer completely. Even though it's a 30-year-old game, it's just like a known problem for like a year with one of the hardware components I have in my computer. Like, and I wasn't going to take the risk of my computer crashing while streaming. Which is funny because I did technically have it on the other screen like 2 or 3 streams ago. But it didn't crash then. Then all of a sudden in the last week it started crashing, and I looked into it, so. Alright, so let's do this. We have 10 cards in hand. Let's use School Teacher. Synchronize could be fun, but Love Everlasting is probably better in the long run. And we still haven't cast a spell, which is good. Stars Align. Is there any minion? Oh, there's 2 minions that I don't want here. So you're a fan of my... I'm also behind. Oh, hey, Oink. Alright, so as much as I want to use Stars Align, I don't think we do. I hate doing that on only 1 minion, but it'll give us some room in our hand. Sure, Synchronize is good. Oh, Ignis, I will take in a heartbeat. The other problem with like Stars Align right now is the fact that we also have our Viper in hand, and we want to wait until we hit Ignis weapon for them to use it. Actually, we should trade this in, and then never mind, they're gonna drag it out of our hand. I think We have so many bad options. Let's see what our weapon we can grab. Grabbing a big weapon, Wind Fury. Okay. And armor. Now, what I would really love, I hate doing that there, but we need to somehow get access to their Odin before they slam it down. Because if we get Odin plus the hammer that we have in hand, we should be in a good. I think they have a brawl, so they might just brawl our board here too. Oh yeah, they have sanitized. Moment of truth. Okay, 9. That isn't Odin. That's good. Almond Tool. Let's see if we can grab an identity theft here. We have none left in the deck. Drown could be good for later. I'm going to slam this down. We're going to get a random 6 cost minion. Okay, so we don't have to steal their Odin if we have a Odin, right? That kind of changes plans a little bit. The funniest thing here is the fact that if we can somehow get an additional copy of this, we do have Synchronize in the deck, so we could in theory synchronize our own Odin, and we know for a fact this stacks now, so you know, we're about to be their living nightmare, I think. Okay, they're going to remove our minions. That's fine. The even funnier thing is we could, in theory, Odin Whirlpool, right? Well, I mean, ask and you shall receive, I guess. I'm going to put this at the bottom of our deck. Oh, shit. Whoopsie. Oh, perfect. They're Odin. We can survive long enough if we do the funny thing, right? Because the idea would be Odin, or grab the Odin, slam the Odin down, and then we just hope and pray we live. What I really want to see is them trade this and then have some type of removal in hand. Because I don't think a lot of people know this stacks. Okay. And we do still have the Ignis in our deck, which is funny. Oh, I guess if they don't even trade... Now, prepare for the funniest shit in the world. Oh... The problem is, if I leave Odin alive, I think we're screwed. Like, we're legitimately dead. So I guess I have to get rid of Odin. And I have to hope they didn't randomly generate... Look, 35 damage. Or 37 damage with that. That would have been insane. Now, can you imagine if this gave you the armor before... Yeah, I had a feeling they'd have a rock biter. Just something told me in my hearts of hearts they would. Yes. All right, let's go for round 2. Wind Fury, come on. Look, if we can survive, we still have the chance to do the funniest shit ever. Okay. We know they're not. They don't have lifesteal on their weapons, so I'm just gonna do the really dumb thing and go face. Who thought that was a good idea? Like, seriously, I mean, we might be dead here. Oh, actually, they have to do 38 points of damage. Okay. Big taunt. Actually, it doesn't even matter. We have Whirlpool in hand. Oh, I forgot about the lifesteal component on that. Okay, so how much damage do we have? This is 5 plus 21. So that's 29. We don't have lethal here, so I'm going to still go face. And then we're going to Whirlpool. I was trying to do the math to see, like, if Alex Straza would have got us lethal there, but it doesn't. I forgot they have the lifesteal on the weapon, which is actually pretty bad for us. Now, it would be amazing, and by amazing, I mean really sad, if we still managed to lose this game somehow. Okay, so they're only healing for 7. Come on, don't have a big taunt, and then we can... So we have 29. Actually, we legitimately have enough damage if they don't have another armor gain. And a taunt. That's like worst case scenario. Now, I can already see the title of this short. Out armoring the armor warrior. All right, now that we're through the games, let's discuss my final thoughts of the deck. So, as mentioned in the intro of the video, this deck is probably not the strongest that I've put out in quite a long time. In fact, it's probably one of the weakest decks I put out in a long time. But Stars Align is a card that I've been really wanting to use for quite a while now, practically ever since Titans actually originally came out, and I figured now that we're in the downtime in between expansions in the last month, it's about time to get a little bit more wacky with some of the ideas I come up with, and this is honestly a really fun and wacky deck to play around with. The amount of times that you can randomly generate things like Test Greymine, which will allow you to basically resummon all of your minions that you do get off of Star Line or other really powerful 7-cost minions, makes this deck actually pretty decent if you can get the right minions randomly generated. If you can't, and then it's going to be a living nightmare for you, but it did make for a lot of really good fun footage, so that's why it ended up on the channel. Overall, this is honestly not a deck that I can easily recommend you all trying out unless you don't mind losing a lot. But like always, if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, bye-bye.